It is August 27th, and we got a full moon in Pisces coming up on the 30th, and doing something a little different this time around. I did a reading on August 20th. I did a tarot reading with some friends. They came over and we tie-dyed. I did this tie-dyed Alice Cooper shirt. I know now he's persona non grata amongst a lot of people. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into all that. So we had a tie-dye party, and then we did a tarot reading with 5 of us, and we all shuffled, and we pulled 3 cards out of the Starman deck, which I've used before on here. And we also listened to some David Bowie while we were doing it. We listened to Scary Monsters, the first side. The cards we pulled were the Moon, the 7 of Cups, and the Princess of Pentacles. And they're really pretty. I'll show a little footage of what they looked like. It was a cool reading. We were kind of all happy that they came out upright. And originally, because we were doing a reading for just kind of like what the energies of the rest of the month kind of have in store for us. So that's including, Mercury retrograde and the full moon coming and super moon coming up. So the fact that we got the moon card really, kind of struck home. We were like, wow, cool that we got the moon. It's a really beautiful card. It's got these figures here, right? And they're holding these like orbs up. It's kind of interesting. So then the second card that we got was the 7 of Cups, and that's this card. And look at how he's holding an orb, and then in that moon card they're the almost same hand gestures, right? They're holding orbs. We thought that was pretty cool. And then the third one was the Princess of Pentacles, which is just a really nice looking card. It's just really pretty. It's got this kind of circular thing going on that kind of fits with that too. We thought I'll look up because that's what I wanted to do, was look up some stuff in the book about those 3 particular cards, and also compare them to some of the other decks I've used. So I've got out here the moon in that, what was it, the ukiyo-e deck, the moon card. That's that Japanese deck I got in Chicago. And then the 7 of Cups from Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which has always been a really weird card. And then the Princess of Discs from the Thoth deck, because there is no Princess of Discs in the Rider-Waite-Smith, but there is in the Thoth. And I've used the Thoth before too, so I thought I would compare these 3 decks here. 4 decks. So that's what I'm doing today. So first of all, I figure we'll read a little bit from the Starman Tarot book about the moon, and then kind of see how it relates to the ukiyo-e moon. I perceive the truth through the inner veil and its reflection is the 1 sentence description of in this deck. Living life can be a very lonely path at times, especially when we are transitioning from the old to the new. The path unknown before us can be laden with projected fears and fantasies of loss and failure. But the moon card suggests to look a little deeper and face your fears. It is a time to retreat and reflect, attentive to the synchronicities and symbolic wisdom in the outer world reflecting in the mirror of the inner world. Allow insights and guidance to surface in your dreams and keep your dream diary ready. I've been meaning to do my dream journals more, as I've mentioned in other videos, and kind of been failing at that, so I need to get back on that. But I like that it says retreat and reflect. When we did this reading, because of the Mercury retrograde coming up, we all agreed that we needed to keep those words in mind, like reflect, reassess, revisit. We were thinking that when we were raw shuffling, so that's pretty cool that that came up. So in this ukiyo-e deck, what it says about the moon is it says the divinatory meanings are twilight, obscurity, trickery, disillusion, danger, error, caution, warning, bad influence, ulterior motives, false friends, deceit, craftiness, disgrace, slander, superficiality, unknown enemies. The meeting of many divergent influences. Well, that's kind of a weird one. The meaning of many divergent influences. Well, it was 5 of us that don't normally get together and read tarot, so that seems kind of interesting. Okay, in true Mercury retrograde fashion, my phone ran out of space and my other phone wasn't charged, so I had to charge up my phone. Then I realized I was completely out of space on my hard drive on my computer, and I had to make room on there. It's par for the course for Mercury retrograde. So anyway, it's a little bit later in the day. I think I left off talking about the moon and the weird things that, the weird kind of negative connotations that are attributed to this moon card in this ukiyo-e deck, which I think fits with the Rider-Waite-Smith moon card. It is about the subconscious, and it is about sometimes you manifest things that are fearful, fearful manifestations, and illusion can be a problem. So keeping that in mind as I'm going on to these other cards. So I use my imagination is the one word sentence describing the 7 of Cups. Because when we looked at these, you know, some of my friends had never seen this deck before. So, but they know something about tarot from Rider-Waite-Smith and whatnot, other decks that they've used. So we were like, I knew that it was in the Rider-Waite, this is like a card about choices, you know, and that sometimes there's difficult ones and illusory ones that don't make any sense and might be even bad for you, and that it's sometimes hard to decide what's the right choice. In the Starman deck, it says, the question arises, why do we have this faculty that allows us to conjure and manipulate realities that do not exist? Imagination can be looked at as a vast extension of the visual faculty. Our minds have a spectacular multi-dimensional eye. In the artwork, the character's physical eyes are covered, but we are gifted a window into what he is seeing through his inner eyes. We get to see into a whole other reality. Out of each hovering cup arises a spectral image. The human head symbolizing the mind or the ego that can either guide with wisdom or become self-obsessed and irrational. The bat symbolizing the power of vision, inner and outer. The mask symbolizing deceptions or the personas, masks we all wear. The mushroom symbolizing our symbiotic relationship with other earthly life forms. The lightning bolt symbolizing spirit coming to earth. Gold coins symbolizing wealth and abundance. and the star geometry symbolizing structure and creativity. So a lot of choices. And in the Rider-Waite symbolism of the card, it's the same thing. There's a dragon in a cup. There's a cup with a wreath in it, but it's got a skull face on it. There's jewels in a cup. There's a snake in the cup. There's a mushroom on this cup too in the Rider-Waite Smith. So it's like illusions. Don't be clouded by them. Don't be clouded by illusions. You gotta look past that to make the best choice. It's kind of what I'm getting from it. And the Princess of Pentacles, the one word description is, I value all of life. So kind of take that to mean, there's a lot of good and there is some bad in life. You have to experience it all. You don't get to just pick and choose the bits of life that you like, It says she is deeply in tune with the principle of Gaia, which regards the earth as a self-regulating organism. Its elements of air, oceans, and land surface form a complex, interrelated system that supports life. She values all of life in its rich diversity and believes her patient work, ingeniously planned and executed, will lead to sustainable change in the future, carrying forth the age of her ancestors and rebirthing it within the complex information age. It's pretty fascinating. The Princess of Pentacles invites us to consider how we are making solid, grounded foundations and preparations for what we ultimately value and hope to achieve in life. This one in the Thoth deck, the Princess of Pentacles, is the earthy part of Earth. And the way they describe it in the little Thoth booklet is it's a strong but brooding woman. A woman on the brink of transfiguration, on the brink of transfiguration. And it says, this is a really weird thing that says here. This woman is like a lottery wheel from which the extraction of any number does not predict or influence the result of any subsequent operation. What? What? I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it seems to mean like all possibilities are on the table with this one. The Earth Princess, right? Because discs are pentacles are earth. I don't know. It's kind of interesting though. Let's look at these two ladies together, right? These are the two princesses of pentacles. They're pretty cool looking. I think they look cool. This one always reminds me of like harvest. I don't know why. And I guess we are coming out of the end of summer. Could be that has something to do with something. I'm not sure. But anyway, fascinating reading, and even more complicated when you add some other decks to it to think about. I've been having a lot of weird synchronicities happen lately. So that kind of came up in that moon card. I've been having like just instances of just art imitating life and stuff. I was watching Nuke's Top 5. Yeah, on August 17th. I was watching Nuke's Top 5, which I don't know if you all know about, but it's an awesome show. It's great editor. He goes through and watches like all the scary videos on YouTube and just kind of trolls YouTube for the paranormal shows all over the world and then compiles them. And he's just like, you know, he plugs the other shows, but you know, he shows the scariest parts. And he does like little reenactment videos and stuff like that. But anyway, he was showing a particularly scary episode that was called Videos That Will Leave You Shook, you know. So I'm watching this as I'm babysitting my friend's dogs. And I was referring to them as beans because they do look like little beans. They're little white dogs with little orangey brown spots. They're just funny looking, and I was calling them beans. And as me and the dogs are watching Nuke's Top 5, in 2 separate videos in the same episode, 2 different people in the videos have dogs named Beans. And then the other thing was, you know, like my last video on my thumbnail, I put God is in the details as my, you know, kind of my name of the video. And that week at work, I'm reading a book because I proofread and proof listen to books on tape for a living. Like I edit books on tape, and I'm reading this book, and the phrase "God is in the details" comes up in the book. You know, just I guess you'd call that random. I guess people call that kind of stuff random all the time, but it's not really feeling all that random to me. It feels significant every time it happens. I'm like, well, there's that again. I don't know. So I'm keeping my mind open, and I'm trying to not be swayed by illusory things, but at the same time, I'm recognizing the instances of synchronicity, and I don't discount that. I think that's significant. I have a hard time describing why I think it's significant, but I think it is. So, but anyway, this was a good reading. I'm obviously having some technical issues, so I don't want to not be able to make this video because it's too long and I don't have enough space. So I'm getting ready to go to Muddy Roots. If anybody out there goes to the Muddy Roots music festival in Tennessee, Cookeville, Labor Day weekend, I'll see you there. I love it. It's the best party. It's a camp out party. All kinds of music, all kinds of people having a good fun time together. It's near and dear to my heart. This is my 4th year going, so yeah, I'll see you there. See you at Muddy Roots. Later.